Now, have we got anyone in from around the country? Is there anyone in from the north? Oh, quite a few of you. Oh. I ask you, what's the point in having a north-south divide if you're not going to police it? It is a peculiarity of the United Kingdom that people from Liverpool tend to think people from Manchester are a bunch of cunts. And vice versa, people from Manchester think people from Liverpool are a bunch of cunts. When will they realise? So I should apologise, really, because I've used the C word rather a lot so far this evening, and I know a lot of people, especially the ladies, let's be honest, find that a little bit offensive. There is, of course, an alternative to cunt. I don't mean up the arse. Now, are you all familiar with the phrase, see you next Tuesday? See, it's the polite English way of saying the C word so as not to cause too much offence. Although, ironically, I can't think of too many situations where you want to call someone a cunt, but you don't offend them. Sort of what I like about it. I'll have a bit of a sit down, I think. Oh, you're all right? Was this the sort of thing you had in mind? No, right, okay, I'm fucked. Who's come the furthest? Did anyone come from, like, a long way away, overseas? Or Canvey Island's the furthest anyone came. Well, fuck you. You were all in the area anyway, were you? What's that? Was that Dover? Where you were castrated before you got a chance to... Right. Were you worried about sounding silly, so you thought, well, I'll put on a ludicrous high-pitched voice? That should sort things out, shouldn't it? So you're a sailor, are you? Imagine my surprise at your high-pitched voice. Bad things come in threes. Good example of that is Atomic Kitten. Every time I think of Atomic Kitten, actually, I'm slightly saddened because I think, well, somewhere in the northeast, there's a supermarket, 3 checkout girls short. I wrote that joke for a thing called Worst Britons, where I had to write jokes about lots of celebrities. It was a programme that we put on Channel 4. I wrote this as well, if it's of any interest to you. I went to a car boot sale the other week. I found this old, brown, bent, leathery tool. Turned out to be David Dickinson. Now, I don't know if anyone's seen any of the other TV shows that I made. I make a show called Distraction at the moment. Has anyone seen that? Yay! Oh, just about everyone. And one person liked it. Well, that's good. If I can entertain just one man, I'll have been shit. The Distractions is quite good. It's Channel 4's replacement to Sex in the City. Just imagine the city is Dundee and the sex is anal. You get the idea. I do another show called Your Face or Mine. Has everyone seen that? Yeah. It's quite good fun, I think. It's a fun show. It's as shallow as a Tinker's Bar. I mean, no offence, I didn't mean to... But, you know, it's quite a fun show. It's basically about couples. It's about looks in relationships. Who here thinks looks are important in a relationship? Yeah. Oh, quite a few of you being honest this evening. I sort of sit on the fence on that one. Are looks important in a relationship? Well, I mean, you don't look at the fireplace when you're poking the fire, do you? But you do when it's sucking you off, so... I was in the high street the other day. There was a girl there with a clipboard. She said, could you spare a few minutes for cancer research? I said, all right, but we're not going to get much done. We could pop into Boots and see if they've got anything. You know that disclaimer they put at the end of films? You know the one that says the characters and the events in this film are purely fictitious, any relation to real characters and events is purely coincidental? Yeah? Do they really need that on Lord of the Rings? Is anyone watching that thinking, this is a brilliant documentary? I might think about going to New Zealand on my holidays. But wait, no, I don't want it ruined by Saruman, he's Orc Army. Your hair? What, I'm just saying. I like the Spice Girls as much as the next man, but... I can't help noticing you've got a tattoo on your... Well, it's your boob, isn't it, really? It sort of draws the eye. What is that, exactly? It's a rose. On your... As if boobs aren't fun enough as they are. She thought, I'll tell you, I'll brighten these things up. No fella's going to like these. What do guys like? They like flowers, don't they? Yeah, I'll get a picture of a flower. Did you not think, what do you like? What kind of thing? You look like the sort of bloke that like cars and guns and tanks. Get a nice tattoo of a tank on your tip. Lovely. He could be, and going, oh, is that a Sherman? Because Flowers, unless he's secretly gay, and I'll be honest, there's a lot of earrings and spiky hair. Good, fine. I remember before J-Lo, before the term ghetto booty, when we used to just call it a fat arse. Of course, J-Lo's had her bum insured for $10 million. Don't know if that covers contents. I was talking to my nan about Ant and Dec. She said she didn't know which one Ant was. I said, do you know which one Dec is? She said, yeah. My girlfriend asked me recently one of the big questions in life. She said to me, do you want to have children? I thought about it. I thought, God, is there any truer expression of the love that you have for another person than to have a child with them? Because really that is a bond that lasts forever. It's not like getting married. Marriages break up. But having a child together, you know you're going to be bonded through that child for the rest of your life. And then I thought about the money. I thought, how expensive is it bringing up a child? It's apparently the most expensive thing you can do. It costs £100,000 to bring up a child up to the age of 18. It's an incredible amount of money. It's not like buying a house where you can sell it on. It doesn't appreciate, that's just gone. And then I thought about the education of the child. Would I send it to state school or private school? I'm doing all right. I might think about private school, but I'd probably end up sending it to state school. And then, maybe I'd compromise on that, become a bit of a hypocrite, end up reading the Daily Mail, going to parent-teacher meetings, becoming my dad. It'd be awful. And then I thought more about, well, why am I thinking about having a child? Why don't I think about adopting a child? Isn't it just about the family unit and love, rather than just having a little mini-me running around the place? And then I thought about how much it would mean to have my family name live on. And, what that would mean to my nearest and dearest. And then I thought again about the relationship with my girlfriend, how that would change, how I'd probably end up calling her mum or something, would really sort of change that. And then it would change my life, and probably ruin it. Anyway, I sort of weighed up all the pros and all the cons, and in the end I said no. Of course, by then I'd come. Luckily, all over her tits. Someone calls Admiral Insurance every 6 seconds for a quote. What a nutter. Environmentalists tell us that every day an area the size of Wales is destroyed. Why is it never Wales? So are there Welsh people in this evening? You're from Wales? Well, don't worry. Do you know what the most common crime is in Wales? No. Hang on, I've got to ask someone about her foo-foo. It's a long time for a pee, you all right? You're fine? You're sure? Is that better? Bless you. Sorry, I was just talking to your friend about being from Wales. Do you know what the most common crime is in Wales? Have a guess. What guess? Sheep shagging? Well, that's rather insulting, isn't it? And to add insult to injury, you're wrong. It's not sheep shagging. It's actually ram raiding. The second most common crime is having sex with a minor. If anyone's offended, just look for the other meaning. You'll be fine. I bought my girlfriend a book called Cheap and Easy Vegetarian Cooking, which is ideal for her because not only is she a vegetarian, she's reading a book at the moment called Women That Love Too Much, which I think could have the title shortened to Sluts. The reason old men use Viagra is not because they're impotent. It's because old women are so very ugly. When it comes to the environment, it's not us, but our children and our children's children that will pay for our mistakes, which is a relief. No matter how much you give a homeless person for a cup of tea, you never get that tea. Throwing acid is wrong, in some people's eyes. I went up to the airport information desk. I said, how many airports are there in the world? She said, I don't know. I went up to the check-in desk. The girl said to me, window, seat or aisle? I said, window, seat or your what? Are you threatening me? She said, no, calm down. Window, seat or aisle? I said, I'll have a seat. I bought one of those round-the-world air tickets, £1,200, amazing value. 37 hours later, I arrived back at Heathrow. A lot of people say modern art is pretentious, but I look at it like this. My girlfriend bought a t-shirt for £80. That's a ridiculous amount to spend on a t-shirt, am I right? It said D&G on the front. I suppose fair enough. One of her tits is bigger than the other. I thought my girlfriend was a slag when she told me I was her 30-second lover, and then I realised she was talking about time. There is a minimum comprehension level. You may be asked to leave. My ideal woman would be a single mum once I'd finished with her. It's a joke. I'd pay for the abortion. Ah, got you again. I fucking wouldn't. Let's talk about something a little bit more serious. It can't all be slapstick abortion stuff. Let's hear it from all the heterosexual men in the room. Give us a shout, all the heterosexual men. I'm guessing from that expression, I can't remember which one heterosexual is. I'm not taking a chance. Maybe this is how they recruit them. The most annoying thing my sister does is that show Chatty Man. That's the most annoying heckle that I get at gigs. I like it when people join in. I like a bit of a heckle and a bit of fun. But the most annoying one I get is when I've set up a joke, just about to do the punchline, and someone goes, invariably it's the same thing. It's always, where's Alan? Where's Alan? It's not my like bête noir, it's just a bit annoying. Where's Alan? Where's Alan? Who's at your house fucking your dad? I think we all knew, including him, I think we all knew that was a trap. I could feel you as one going, hold, hold, hold. And then one brave soul over there said, no. I'm taking one for the team. Or rather, your dad is. Of course, not all gay people are happy, camp and fun. Some of them are lesbians. If you're a lesbian and you didn't find that funny, you're surprising no one. Are there any lesbians in? No, my gaydar is pretty much honed in on this pair down there. Hello, how are you two? You all right? Yeah. Are you, I presume you're a couple?
Married, yeah.
You're married? Oh, congratulations. Yeah. Fabulous. How long have you been married?
Since October.
Since October? My God, it's new and fresh. Have you even finished consummating the relationship?
No.
You don't know when you're finished, do you? That's one of the problems with your lifestyle choice. We'll just put that on hold. We'll be back in a minute. Well, so you're married, you're committed to each other. Well, it's maybe a crazy question to ask you because you're in this long-term relationship and you love each other, but what would it take to get you back on solids? She's a definite no and you're a maybe. Okay, good. Oh, I love my job. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a test and see whether we've got any other sisters in the room, see if there's any other lesbian. Sisters. Like I'm a lesbian, I've got the haircut, come on. I'm going to test the heterosexuality of the other ladies in the room. Just a simple question to test this. Ladies, have you read 50 Shades of Grey? Yeah. You've all read that book? You love that book. I would describe 50 Shades of Grey as the ultimate flick book. It was the best-selling book last year. What's the world coming to? It was the best-selling book last year. I can prove it. Last year, wettest on record. I think it's a very interesting book because, although it's not a great piece of literature, it's more gusset typing. It's interesting because it's pornography for ladies. That's what it is, right? And men, that book is in our houses, isn't it? 50 Shades of Grey is in our house, and we've not even picked it up. We're not looking at your pornography, ladies. We're not interested in your kind of pornography. We're very happy with the service broadband is providing. Ladies consume pornography in a very different way to men, and the genders are very different in our consumption of pornography. Here's a fact, gentlemen, that will blow your minds about women's consumption of pornography. Women watch porn films to the end. You know why? To see if they get married. Now, I should warn you there will be some audience participation this evening. Apologies. And the only reason I mention it explicitly is because sometimes when I ask someone a direct question, they get a bit flustered.
I think it's because they used to see me on TV, so then when I asked them a direct question, they go, what the fuck is going on? I didn't press the red button, it's gone all fucking interactive. I got a guy wonderfully flustered the other day, front and centre where you're sitting there, and out of nowhere I went, are you married or single? He went, single. And the girl next to him went, he isn't. How could you fuck that up? There was a lovely little pause and he went, I think I might be single now. Oh, well, look, who's seen me live before? Give us a shout. Yeah. Well, you'll know every year my friend Chris does illustrations for me for jokes that I write that I think are a bit esoteric, that require a visual element to be fully enjoyed. Would you like to see them? Yeah. Well, good, otherwise he'd be fucking gutted and we'd be having some quiet time, which would be shit. Right, well, I'll show you some. Obviously, we'll kick off with some thoughts and ideas that I've had recently. Right, so, if you like looking at flowers but you can't be arsed with gardening, simply run down a kid outside your house. Can't believe you didn't think of it. On bonfire night, I hope our neighbours keep their pets locked up because there's something about fireworks that makes me really horny. I was outside a nightclub recently and I discovered that women can be bouncers if you're travelling fast enough when you mount the pavement. The thing I worry about when I hear kids in the third world are working 18 hours a day to make my trainers is, when are they going to get a chance to finish my fucking laptop? I was in a hotel having breakfast and the waiter said to me, he said, you want white or brown toast? I said, all toast is brown, you're thinking of bread. At any one time, a bowl of nuts on a bar will have 17 different types of urine on them. And that's why they're called peanuts. Wayne Rooney wears the number 10 shirt, or as he calls it, the stick and the circle. My friend reckons football violence and aggressive behaviour are triggered by primitive tribal rivalries, which are projected onto opposing teams and then expressed through exaggerated displays of loyalty. But he's a lying gooner twat, so he can suck my fucking cock. All that groaning and grunting in women's tennis, it reminds me of sex, in that I'm watching it happen on screen whilst masturbating. To explain spot fixing in cricket, it's what happens when something I don't understand is done by someone I've never heard of in the middle of something I couldn't give a fuck about. Spiders used to give me nightmares. Anyone else? Yeah, so what I've done is I've stopped eating them just before bedtime. Of course, the worst thing about being bitten by a poisonous spider is that you're probably Australian. Are there any Australians in? Yeah. Welcome back. Are there any comedy groupies in here this evening? Any gag hags? Any chuckle fuckers? The only reason I ask is if any girls come up to me after the show looking for sex, I'm going to have to disappoint you. I mean, we can have sex. Just it will be quite disappointing. I wouldn't lie to you, it'd be like throwing a sausage up an alleyway. More information than some of you wanted, okay. I'm a stand-up comedian, a TV host, an actor, and a writer. People ask me, what's your secret? I'm the M4 rapist. It's a joke. I've never been wrongly accused of rape. We all like a laugh, yes? That's the one thing we've all got in common in this room. We all like a laugh. It's a very British thing, I think, to come out of an evening with the express intention of just having a laugh. Here's a great fact about this country. The average person in Great Britain laughs out loud 10 times a day. Not everyone, obviously. If you work in a hospice or with learning disabled adults, it could be 10 times that. Sky's the limit. Yeah, that's my laugh, which is... someone said my laugh was weird. My laugh isn't weird, it's wrong. Because you're meant to laugh on an out-breath, aren't you? You're meant to laugh on a ha-ha, ha-ha-ha-ha. I laugh on an in-breath, so it's ha. Sounds like a goose being interfered with. Someone asked me the other day, is it fake? Why would you fake that?
At a party, I was chatting to a guy. He said, what does your girlfriend do? I said, anything but anal. I'm joking. She loves it. I'm in a long-term relationship, but I'm not married. Is anyone else in that situation? Quite a few, but you're timid about saying, because like me, you'll know, if you're in a long-term relationship but not married, everyone, friends, family, colleagues, acquaintances, everyone feels they can stir it up a bit. As soon as anyone hears, they go, have you thought about? You two, have you thought about? Trying to start an argument between us. I think it's very rude. So whenever anyone says to me, have you thought about? Thought about? Thought about? I always go, what, putting a third finger in? I could give it a go. I'm not sure it's what the relationship is missing. Maybe try the shocker. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. That's how that works. Sorry, too much? 2 in the goo, 1 in the poo. There. Nicer for everyone. I don't know what conversation that prompted there. I imagine that was you, madam, turning to him thinking, I'm glad it's not just you. I had a woman come up to me after a show in Tunbridge Wells. She said, I found that shocker thing very uncomfortable. Now, I knew what she meant. But I couldn't help myself. I said lubricant. I tried some Viagra recently. Has anyone else tried it? Yes. You have? Well, I admire your honesty there, sir. I tried it because you can now get over-the-counter Viagra. I thought, that sounds powerful. Over the counter, you say? Like a fucking cosh. Did you read the instructions when you tried it, sir?
I didn't.
You didn't? I did. I take these kind of things seriously because it's a medication. Even though it's a fun medication, it's a medication nonetheless. I was reading on the instructions for Viagra, it says, keep away from children. I thought, what kind of a man do they think I am? That can't maintain an erection with a child. Well, the fact a child has applauded that very loudly. See that? There's a child in a green t-shirt. You are a child, I'm saying, going, yes! Finally, someone that can get hard with me. You fucking maniac. How old are you, sir? Do you mind me asking?
I'm 14.
You're 14? Right, I can't talk to you any longer. It would be grooming. And are you here with your mum? Oh! I'll be checking in with you in a bit. I'd like to get to know you all as an audience, but it's difficult to get to know a lot of people in one go. There's only one of me, that's loads of you. What I've devised is a method. Moral dilemmas. These are questions to which there is no absolute wrong or right answer. Just your opinion tells me something about who you are as individuals and who you are as a group. So if everyone joins in, this works. So everyone say yes? Yes! Everyone say no? No! Everyone say I can think for myself? I can think for myself. Okay. Right, let's do a warm-up first. This doesn't count towards your final score. Just a warm-up, just to get you into the spirit of things. But if everyone could answer straight away, that would be great. Is it acceptable to kill a whale in order to save 2 pandas? Yes! That's about a 90% yes, I would say, this evening. You've thought, yeah, fuck it. Someone go, no. No. All right. Don't worry, it's not going to happen. That's not the finale of the show. Although I wish I'd thought of that. That'd be fucking brilliant. The best response I've had to that recently, I said, is it acceptable to kill a whale in order to save 2 pandas? And someone went, let them fight it out between themselves. Now, for better for worse, this is the question I use to judge an audience, to judge individuals. If you could all answer, that would be great. Would you fuck your dad to save your mum? I don't know why you're looking so upset. It's easier for girls. He's ugly. Imagine that being a factor. Imagine thinking, yeah, I would fuck my dad, but he's not a looker. He's let himself go, maybe 5 years ago. What would you, sir? He's there. Oh, hi. do you mind me asking, is your mum here as well? Oh, brilliant. Well, we can actually do a proper test. Now, I've got snipers all the way around this building. And they're pointing a gun at your mother, yeah? We're going to kill her. Your mum's been taken hostage. She's going to be killed. We would like you to bum your dad.
Well...
It's difficult. Yeah, of course it's difficult. I'm not saying you wouldn't be thumbing in a softie. That's fine.
I say let her die.
You say let her die. Sorry, hang on. We're not in Norfolk. What are you booing? You're booing a man saying, I wouldn't bum my dad. Just take a moment to think about that. All right, so you've made your decision.
Don't listen to Jimmy.
It's all right. It's all right, Mum. It's all right, Mum. Is that your daughter there?
Yeah.
Same question to you. Oh, I love my job. At what point did you think as a family this would be a good show to go and see? Never mind that Lion King bullshit. Let's bring the kids out to see a proper show where we openly discuss incest. The best response I've had to that, someone went, not again. I've read an article recently about British men's ultimate sexual fantasy, and it surprised me. The results of it surprised me. It was a proper survey. They asked 3,000 men their opinion. I'd like to do a little straw poll in here this evening, because the results of this, I was shocked. Ultimate sexual fantasies. Has anyone got one they wouldn't mind admitting to?
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. It's a specific person that you would like to bone. Well, I happen to know Jessica Alba does an awful lot of work for charity. Maybe... Any other ultimate sexual fantasy?
Girlfriend.
My girlfriend? Well, maybe we could double team her. My girlfriend is your ultimate sexual fantasy? Yes, people see my girlfriend and they see me and they say, she's only going out with you because you're famous. And I say, but I am famous. What's your point? Is that your girlfriend?
That is my girlfriend.
That's your girlfriend? I'm not going to swap if that's okay. Can I just clarify, you are a beautiful lady, no disrespect to you, but he heckled, I had to put him down, and the only way to get to him was through you. I like the way as well, I suggested your girlfriend wasn't good looking enough, and you applauded. Yeah, you'll be using those hands later on, won't you? Any other ultimate sexual fancies?
A Viking helmet.
A Viking helmet? What have you got, 2 vaginas? Good, lovely. Any other ultimate sexual fantasies? Schoolgirl? And then you've pointed at your man. Yeah, I think we've got a special term for a schoolgirl fantasy now. We call it pedo. Sorry, sir, what do you like?
Schoolgirl teacher.
Schoolgirl teacher? Schoolgirl, though, really. Yeah, no, because the specialist term for the schoolgirl you are a pedo. It's good. Look at the positive. You get to be on a list. That's nice. That's nice. Everyone in the neighbourhood knows where you live. That's convenient, isn't it? Do you make her dress up as a schoolgirl?
She's done it.
She's done it? Have her washed and brought to my room. I'm joking. Don't wash her.
Bestiality!
Bestiality. Well, easy. Let's just think this through, because bestiality, a lot of people just write off as a terrible thing. Let's look at both sides. Let's say you fuck a cow, and that could happen. You sound like a nutter. No, let's imagine you fuck a cow. You haven't actually harmed the cow. Cows are fucking enormous. You're not going to trouble it with your tiny cock. But you've probably distressed the animal. Daisy's probably thinking, what the fuck is he up to? On the upside, though, you've had a whale of a time, and if you have a baby with a cow, it'll be a minotaur. It's like Bully from Bullseye. For those of you that don't know, I'm Jimmy Carr, one of the biggest faces in British comedy. Literally. I've got one of the biggest faces. Look at that, it's like the moon. Probably affecting your menstrual cycle, just being this close. When I told my mum I wanted to grow up and be a comedian, she said, "You can't do both." And she's right, being a comedian makes you quite immature. I'm sort of like a 14-year-old boy trapped inside a man's body. Not in a Michael Jackson way. Because he's a child at heart, not because he fucks kids. Because he definitely doesn't, for legal reasons, so... I should warn you, this isn't a show for the easily offended. It's not even a show for people that are quite difficult to offend. Essentially, this is a show for people without a moral compass. And that's why it's nice we've got a couple of chavs down the front. Hello. I did a gig in Hull recently. I went out to get a coffee before the gig. Someone came up to me and went, "Are you Jimmy Carr?" I went, "Yeah." They went, "Are you in Hull?" I had this amazing cab driver. He was driving a black cab. He was whistling, yeah, smiling, clearly having a brilliant time. He said, "I love my job. I'm my own boss. Nobody tells me what to do." I said, "Left here." I went to a pub quiz the other night in aid of cancer research. I found myself halfway through thinking, well, how much closer to a cure for cancer are we getting by doing a pub quiz? And then I thought, well, don't be cynical. Look at the best case scenario. What if they throw in the question, what's the cure for cancer? And someone flukes it. I've got a question for you. Child cruelty, what do you think? Good thing, bad thing? It's a bad thing, yeah. Well done, sir. I think it's universally acknowledged that child cruelty is a very bad thing, and yet there are adverts on our TVs every day saying don't smack children. Never an excuse to smack a child. That's just telling us the blatantly obvious, isn't it? I think they should have to take a little bit of the money they spend on those adverts telling us not to smack our children and spend a bit on an advert aimed specifically at children. Simply saying, behave. Let's face it, there's no smoke without fire. No one's putting out cigarettes on children that are just quietly colouring in the corner, are they? Those drink driving ads are horrific, aren't they? They're like 30-second horror films. My favourite. It was 2 or 3 years ago, and it panned down a hospital corridor to find this man sitting in a hospital bed being fed mushy food by a nurse. And the voiceover simply said, "This is a drunk driver." And you find yourself thinking, well, he'd be something of a liability behind the wheel sober. Has anyone here ever driven drunk? Has anyone? By show of hands, anyone? You have. Well, I admire your honesty. You know, I hope nothing bad happened when you did that. And let's face it, there were mitigating circumstances when you drove drunk. You were pissed. We've all done things we regret when we're pissed. Some of you may be with one of them this evening. I hope nothing bad happened when you drove drunk. You know, I think if they made an advert about the normal experience, it would just be a bloke waking up the next day with an extra 20 quid in his wallet because he didn't have to pay for a cab. It would be shocking, but in a different way. I think the people that make the drink driving ads should be forced to make an advert aimed specifically at pedestrians. Simply saying, pedestrians. Watch where you're going, some of us have had a drink. It costs £165,000 to raise a child to the age of 18 in the UK. That's why I've sponsored one in Africa. It's £1 a week. 1 in 4 African children has a gun. Think about that. The other 3 are fucked. Actually, the most callous thing I heard about famine in Africa was not from another comedian, you know, trying to make light of it, but it was from 2 ladies in their 50s in a doctor's surgery in North London. And one of them was looking at the headlines in the paper, and it was all about the famine, and she just put down the paper and said rhetorically, "This famine, it's terrible, isn't it?" And her friend, without skipping a beat, went, "Yeah, but they don't get our winters." I thought, fucking hell, that is harsh. And then I'm ashamed to say a small part of me went, it does always look nice. Half the people that have ever smoked have now stopped. which sounds good, but when I say stopped, a lot of them are dead. I just think there's nicer ways of saying things, aren't there? Like saying, I've got a lot of nieces and nephews is a nice way to say my sister is a slut. She favours the flatter shoe is a nice way to say lesbian. Surprise sex is a lovely term for rape. I'm thinking of launching a fragrance is a nice way to say pull my finger. 80% of personal ads say good sense of humour required. And the reason 80% of personal ads say good sense of humour required is because everything else in the personal ad is a lie. You turn up on the blind date, she says, I know I said I was petite and pretty, but you've got to laugh. You think, yeah, I notice it also says you enjoy long walks, which is handy because you can fuck right off. There's quite a lot of couples in. I can see lots of couples around the place. Have you all had the sexual history conversation? Not all of you, clearly. The sexual history conversation happens about 3, 4, 5 months into a relationship, and the woman says to the man, I'd like to know about your sexual history. And the man thinks, well, no, you fucking wouldn't. But the woman doesn't just ask once. She keeps on asking until she gets a result. Yeah? I had this recently. I was cornered. Had to have the sexual history conversation. I had to list every woman I'd ever been with, from the girl I lost my virginity to, right the way up to her. And that is where I should have stopped. Are you all familiar with the Spider-Man, yes? The sexual practice. Don't panic, I'll explain. The Spider-Man is a sexual practice whereby you're making love to a woman from behind. That's key to this operation. You're just about to arrive. You've got your happy face on. You look like a turtle shitting. You pull out, catch, Spider-Man! I realise many of you are looking at me thinking, well, why did he tell us that? That sounds horrible. It sounds very aggressive, not very romantic and loving, but the reason I'm telling you is because men are such bad communicators, especially at times of high emotion, like a breakup. So, gentlemen, I don't think you ever need to have that awkward, it's not me, it's you conversation again. I think next time, when you think the relationship has run its course, simply, Spider-Man. She will either think, that was brilliant, in which case she's a keeper, or this is over, isn't it? I'll tell you what you can do. If you've been in a relationship a couple of years and the sex is still fantastic, but it's got a bit routine, you know, you do the same things in the same order on the same night of the week or whatever, it's got a bit kind of predictable, your sex life. What you can do is the next time you're getting sucked off, pull out, come in Rye and then kick her in the shin. It's called the pirate. I saw a homeless guy getting off the bus. I thought, how does he know it's his stop? It's only a joke. Jokes are fine. Proper homophobia isn't fine. I don't like it when the tabloids are homophobic, because they're such an important part of our culture, the tabloids. When they get it wrong, it sends a very bad message. Do you remember last year when they outed a footballer? Which is a terrible thing to do anyway. They outed this footballer, and in the course of the article where they outed this guy as a homosexual, they described consensual oral sex between two adults, yeah? Two fellas sucking each other off. They described that as a prank. How demeaning to homosexuals is that? To have that act of lovemaking described as a prank. And it also doesn't work from the other point of view, because I like to think of myself as something of a prankster. But I don't think I've ever said, gotcha! Don't forget the balls. Bless you. You really do care. Whereabouts are you from, sir? You're from New York. What are you doing over here? Do you mind me asking?
I'm transferred for work. I'm an angel man.
You do something? You moved here for work?
Yeah.
What sort of work do you do? I mean, I'm not suggesting I need to see your papers, but what are you bringing to the party?
Finance IT.
Finance and IT. I can't really think what that is. Is that cash points? Hang on, you're looking at ATMs. It's our language, you fucking ruined it. Oh. Yeah, next time you have a fight with someone, stop getting us involved. You're getting blamed for everything. Go on, you can...
If it weren't for us, we'd be speaking German.
Sorry, if it wasn't for you, we'd be speaking German. How little do you know about our language abilities? There's no way we'd have picked it up in 60 years. I always make a bit of an effort, when I'm travelling around the country doing this job, I always make a bit of an effort to do the accent of wherever I am. And I think generally people take that pretty well. They like the fact you've made a bit of an effort. But sometimes people get chippy if you don't get it exactly right. I had a guy come up to me, I was doing a gig in the north of England, and this guy came up to me after the show, quite aggressive. Yeah. He said, all right, kid, I don't think you've got any fucking respect for this town. Try and do the voice, we don't even fucking talk like that. Not bad. I said, no, you've got me all wrong. I love Newcastle. I've got a friend that got into an argument with a barmaid from Sunderland. Long story short, he ended up calling her a fat, ugly Geordie. And she said, I'm no a Geordie. I'm no a Geordie. Sorry, that's a terrible accent. But it is how they talk. I'm always impressed when I'm travelling around the place. I came up on the train, and I'm very impressed with anyone that can get on a train. Maybe some of you can do this. Can any of you get on a train and you don't have to ask, is it the right train? I'm unable to do that. Whenever I get on a train, I've always got to find someone who looks like a grown-up to me. And go, is this the right one? Is this the one for Glasgow? And we all know the answer, because we've all been asked by a tit like me. The answer is always, hope so. Hope so. I've started doing it on planes. I got stopped by one of those charity muggers. You know the ones with the clipboard in the high street? And you think, oh, I've dodged him, and then there's another, oh. They work in teams, I don't know how they do it. Anyway, I got stopped, I got cornered. He said, can I have a word about the homeless? I said, certainly. Lazy. Off you fuck. I was in London and I saw a homeless guy with a dog on a piece of string. Classic look for a homeless guy. And I was walking by and the homeless guy said, could you spare some money for food? And my friend said, eat the dog, then we'll talk. Even I thought that is harsh. I'm joking, I didn't. Truth be told, there was no friend there, I said it. I was just checking to see you thought it was funny first. I do a lot of gigs for people less fortunate than me. Only last week I was in Stoke. For those of you that don't know, it's sort of the English equivalent of Dundee. Are there people in from Dundee? Oh, there's some girls in from Dundee. That's good, because I've got money for chips and I wouldn't mind sex. I like the fact the girls from Dundee applauded that. Just the, yeah, you're going, yeah, fuck, chips, ooh. Should I do my impression of me seducing a girl from Dundee? That's all you need. Oh. Fucking marvellous.
Now listen, this isn't what the show is about at all, but I was briefly going to tell you about a thing that I'm doing at the moment. It means a lot to me, and I was just going to take a moment of your time. I've started a little charity, just a little thing of my own, and it's going great, but I didn't want to put anything up on big screens or put any leaflets out or anything in the programme. I was just going to briefly tell you what the charity that I've set up does, and then if you want to get involved, you could just Google it. But it's not really what the evening's about. The evening's just about having a laugh, but I thought I might just... Sorry, I'm wittering on now. But you could just look it up and Google it if you want to get... You know, I'm just saying, because you could be proactive rather than me sort of forcing it down, because people get bored of that. Okay, what we do is we send obese children to the rainforest. I don't mind you tittering, because we're already seeing fabulous results. And if you want to be part of that, it's feedthetigers.com. Their faces light up. Not the children, obviously, they're fucking petrified. Although it is quite ironically funny seeing them trying to run away. He's a bit late for cardiovascular now. You should have thought of that when you were waddling to Greg's, you fat fuck. A great way to warm up pensioners in winter is cremation. Do you know you lose 50% of your taste buds by the time you're 75? So it is okay for your nana to live on cat food. My nana, my mum's mum, used to make me a jumper every Christmas. Did anyone else have that? She used to make me a jumper every Christmas. Much better than the ones in the shops. No. No, it isn't. I remember one year she made me this burgundy monstrosity. Sleeves way too long. And in the front she'd embroidered, "Blacks go home." I said, I'm not wearing that. It's burgundy. And the sleeves are too long, you crazy racist hooer. My girlfriend recently had a phantom pregnancy, and now we have a little baby ghost. It's quite a sweet joke, isn't it? It's not hurting anyone, and that's why every time I tell that joke, I kick a tramp. Even things up karmically. Who's got kids? You got kids? You've got kids? Okay, I've got kids. Well, I've adopted, but it's the same, innit? It's a family. Well, fostered, but as I say, there's a bit of paperwork, it's nothing. Sponsored. I've sponsored a child. Well, it's not a child, it's a panda. Well, it's a donkey. I didn't sponsor her, I gave it half an apple through a fence. That always gets the same reaction. It's always the woman going, "That's not the fucking same." And the bloke going, "Have you?" Good. As long as I don't have to see a fucking photo of it. A lot of men use moisturiser, but I'm old-fashioned. I just spit on my hand. What did you think we were talking about? Oh, come on, don't give me that look. We've all been there. Come on, love, the film starts in 10 minutes. We haven't got time for your fancy foreplay or your expensive lubricant. We're going to be buttering the baking tray the old-fashioned way. Ironically, buttering the baking tray is the phrase that will stick. So you've just given him a look as if to say, I thought you invented that. How does he know what we do? Flavoured condoms. Has anyone in here had any dealings with flavoured condoms? A few of you. The girl from Dundee's thinking, I thought that was one of my 5 a day. I'll tell you why there's no women's boxing. The weigh-in. The fight would happen then and there. Per square inch of head, people with red hair have 750 fewer friends than normal people. A lot, isn't it? Are there any redheads in? I think I'm all right if I look away. My partner recently lost 11 stone. Well, I say that. I left her. Fat cow. Let's have a round of applause for the ladies. Let's have a round of applause for the ladies. Yeah, quite right, yeah. That's probably enough. Looking around, some of them have made no effort. You've not made an effort, have you? I'm sorry, your comment there is I haven't made much of an effort. Well, there's some cameras and some fucking lights. I don't know what you had in mind. It's not like I come to your work and knock the sailors' cocks out your mouth, is it? Seems like a very weird thing from quite a tough-looking man from Glasgow to say. Oh, you've not made much of an effort. I thought you'd be dressed up prettier. It's a little bit prison rape coming from you, sir. That's what it feels like. My point, there's an incredible amount of pressure on women these days to be beautiful and thin, and all I can say is, we've got some very brave girls in here this evening, really. Terrific stuff. So there are some stunning-looking women in here this evening, and some right dogs. You know who you are. I'm joking. No one in here is stunning. It's all right to make those kind of jokes in comedy because no one really minds. Because, like, occasionally someone will go, oh, yeah, comedy, it's the new rock and roll. It fucking isn't. I'll tell you how you can tell comedy isn't rock and roll. There's no comedy groupies. There's groupies in rock and roll. There's no groupies in comedy. What girl is so into comedy she's going to come backstage and suck me off? Well, might be a premature end to the show. Have her washed and brought to my room. I'm joking, don't wash her. Seriously, now, what girl's so into stand-up she's going to come backstage and suck me off just so she can go, that tastes funny. It's a very fun job. This is all I do for a living, Glasgow. I travel around the country, I find large groups of people with sort of the same sense of humour as me, and then I tell them jokes for the evening. It's a lovely thing to do. It means I get to go everywhere. Any Irish people in? Oh, a few. Not that many. It sounds like the roads in Glasgow are very nearly finished. I was in Dublin recently doing a show, and I was there with a friend hanging out in Dublin for the day. What could be finer? And he dared me to say this at the end of the show. So right at the end of the show, I went, Dublin, I don't know much about Irish politics. That was pretty much their reaction. A couple of thousand people going, I bet you fucking don't, no. I said, I don't know much about it, but he dared me to do it, so I had to say it. I said, I don't know much about Irish politics. I just think we should have one island united. They were on their feet in Dublin. This guy is all right. And then I added, one island united. Under British rule.
What's your name, blonde lady? Who... Move along? What are you saying, Vicky? Dance for me, monkey boy? Is he your fella? Well, what do you mean? He's either your fella or he isn't. Is he your fella? Yeah. Sorry, she's saying yes, and you're saying no, and you've gone really red and you look really embarrassed. They're fuck buddies. Oh! I see. What? How very modern. How very 2005. So you're not going out with each other, but you are fuck buddies. That is fantastic. Can we just all take a moment to, congratulate that man there? A lot of work has gone into that. A lot of work has gone into that. He's had to buy a Cosmopolitan for a couple of years. Sorry? And they'll know that you're a dirty little hussy. The great thing about that is that he's convinced you that, yeah, we don't need a relationship. It's so old-fashioned. I should be able to sleep with whoever I want to sleep with. And so should you, as long as it's just me. When I say...
There must be something else going on.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of jokes. It's not every day I get to talk to a slag. Come on. Now, I don't know where the mark is until I overstep it. That's my... You just did. That is juvenile. Sorry, for those of you that didn't see that, it'll be on the DVD. Available at all good car boots. Vicky's response to that, yeah, she's been called a slag at a show. That's not good in anyone's book, and I apologise for that unreservedly. But did you really need to do that? God bless you. At what point, and really I'm asking the men, at what point do you get paranoid about receiving enlarge your penis emails? It's not just me getting them, is it? It's just I'm currently getting about 10 a day. 8 of them are from my girlfriend. The 2 from my mum that really hurt. It's a rather pitying look you're giving me there, madam. I don't need your pity, frankly. I'm not particularly well hung, but I don't mind admitting that. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed, because I know that any woman that thinks being well hung is important is just shallow. Maybe that's not quite the right term to use. I broke up with a girl once because she lied about her weight. I say that, she died in a bungee jumping accident. You see, because she was heavier than... Has anyone got anything he could be colouring in? You look like some kind of surfer dude. What's your name?
John,
John? Where are you from, John?
the United States.
Well done. John, do you know the difference between a British soldier and an Iraqi soldier? Know the difference? And what do you do, John? What are you doing over here? I don't need to check your papers. I'm just checking, just asking.
I'm a college professor on vacation.
You're a college professor on vacation. Okay, sounds like a setup for a movie. With hilarious consequences. Yes. So what do you teach?
I teach philosophy and religious studies.
Philosophy and religious studies. Well done. So, do you teach philosophy to the brighter kids, and then if they don't get the hang of it, you go, I just believe in God, don't I? Well, I'll tell you why I've asked you all to come this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to talk to you about men that like obese women. I'm not talking about men that like women with a fuller figure. That seems entirely normal, natural and right. More cushion for the pushing, as I believe people say. I think that's the expression. No, I'm talking about men that like women who can't leave the house fat. So, I'm not talking about anyone in here this evening. Unless, in order to get out, someone had to cut the side of the house off and there was some sort of winch involved. I'm not talking about people with water retention. I'm talking about people with cake retention. People that tell you they've got a thyroid problem. You say, oh, really, a thyroid problem? What are you taking for that? Pies? You know, the kind of girl that looks as if she makes a cracking breakfast, but wouldn't want to share it with you. I saw a thing on TV the other day, actually. It was on one of these kind of makeover shows that were on during the day. They did a makeover on a girl. She was 34 stone. It's like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. I say a makeover, they gave her a fringe. Is that really going to turn the corner for a girl like that? That's what I'm asking. I don't think it will. I can't imagine a scenario where a guy, he's drinking in a bar, he looks across, he sees a girl, she's 34 stone. Be tough to miss her, let's face it. He thinks to himself, she's a little bit big for me. Goes back to his drink. Meanwhile, the makeover team are in. Snip, snip, snip. He looks back, he thinks, actually, I would. It's the excuses that get me. The excuses are amazing. The camera adds £10. Stop eating fucking cameras. You're looking slightly disapproving there, madam. You all right? I like the fact that you two look incredibly rock and roll in a sea of middle class. What a wonderful thing. What do you do? Are you in a band or something?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I work in a shop called Cyber.
Called Cyber what?
Cyber Dog.
Cyber Dog? Where do you think I got this? Hey? It's rubber on the inside. I might have a funky underpinning. I don't know what a funky underpinning is. That's how unfunky I am. Were you expecting more thrash metal at this gig? Yes, I'm sorry to disappoint. And your partner there, so you've got a similar look about you. What do you do, sir?
I manage a fetish clothing shop.
You manage a fetish clothing shop. Whereabouts?
Covent Garden.
Covent Garden. It's a great spot for it. What's the weirdest request you've ever had in the store?
Someone wanted a douchebag fitted to a catsuit.
Someone wanted a douchebag fitted to a catsuit. They're all words I vaguely understand, and yet when you say them, what? Hang on, what's a douchebag?
It's a special facility that you attach to the catsuit so that you can defecate into them at will.
Oh, a douchebag! Oh, I thought you said something else. Oh, all right. The device I have on my catsuit so I can defecate at will. Surely if you've got a catsuit on, you should really be going in the sandpit. Are you off to buy a... Did we just say defecate at will and you were off? Have you been hypnotised at some point? Should say it's lovely to see so many ladies out this evening, especially a show starting at 7 o'clock. The tea won't make itself. You're just staring, quietly judging. Yes, quite right. No. You look quite annoyed.
I get it from him all the time.
You get it from him all the time, do you? You lucky girl. I bet you love it. Sorry, it's in 1975. What do you do?
I work in a bookshop.
You work in a bookshop? Is it an adult bookshop?
In the children's section.
In the children's section of an adult bookshop. That is bad. Did you know women reach their sexual peak after 35 years? Men reach theirs after about 4 minutes. Which is why we get more done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I do for a living. I think of little jokes in my head, and then I tell them to you so that you'll like me. It sounds a bit tragic when I say, what was that, it's not working? Well, you can fuck off. This is as good as it ever fucking goes. I don't come to your work and knock the sailors' cocks out your mouth, do I? Where are you? It's not working, man. Give us a wave. What do you do, sir? You do telecoms. What do you do? Do you... I do you. I do you telephone. What, sorry? You build them networks. Ironically, you work in communications and can hardly string a fucking sentence together. Well, broadly speaking, as I say, this is what I do for a living. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out, because sometimes I'll have an idea for a joke, and then I'll sort of look at it in the morning and go, you know, if I've scribbled it down on a bit of paper at 4 in the morning, I'll look at it in the morning and go, well, it's sort of half a joke, but it's not the funny half. Sort of a bit more, you know, challenging. It's a bit more esoteric and oblique. Means difficult to understand. So I thought we might go through some of these, right? I've got visual aids. I realise it sounds bad when I say it like that. I don't mean I was walking through a park and I saw 2 homosexual men having sex. and a bit must have got in my eye. And now I've got all AIDSy eyes. I don't mean that. I mean, I've got some pictures to help. These are slightly more challenging, bear with me. I'm writing a diet book. It's called Put That Down, Fatty. Pedophilia is wrong. It's paedophilia. Of course, the main cause of paedophilia, good-looking kids. Could you blame them? I was adorable. Do you realise if you put your teeth in Coca-Cola overnight, you'll drown? People actually believe Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon. Bullshit. It was Mr. Takeshi, a gardener from Nagasaki, who was standing next to where the bomb landed. Too soon? They say it's bad luck to put up an umbrella indoors, but I think if it's raining indoors, you've already had your bad luck. The problem with unidentified flying objects, UFOs, is if they identify them, they're just flying objects, FOs. And then if they land, it's just no. I saw an O. Oh. Lofts. Lofts are magical places where it's always Christmas. It only happens once a year, but when I collect the Christmas tree in the car, it looks like I've overdone it on the air freshener. If we are going to put an end to global poverty, now is the time to stock up on trainers. I'm joking. We're not going to put an end to global poverty. Any other thoughts, questions? He said, if you were a soup, what flavoured soup would you be? Is that who I think it is? Is that the BFG? What kind of a soup would you be? I would be a lovely, delicious wonton soup. I don't know what kind of a soup. What kind of a soup would you be? Is there a leading... I'd be tomato and butter. You've got the loveliest voice in the world. What, sorry? Get you a date? Not a problem. Do you like 13-year-old boys? Sorry, mate. We're all having a laugh. You're going, is that going to happen? I don't know. You're fine. You're golden. And what's your name, sir? Stephen? Steve. What do you do, Steve? I'm a dentist. And I like soup. You're never going to chip a tooth on soup. Said the BFG. You're wasted. You should be doing voiceovers. It's lovely. There is a large-titted slag that will fuck you. That's fair, is it? That's okay. She's lovely, though, isn't she? She's pretty hot. She's all right. I don't know if you can see her. Can you see her there, Steve? She's all right. Could she stand up? I don't think she could because you'll topple forward. Would you like to have a go on that? She said woo really, really quietly, but it picked up an echo from her enormous... It's going to be like throwing a sausage up an alleyway, but... I'm only kidding. What's your name, madam? Tracy. Tracy. Of course it fucking is. Of course it is. Of course. Sorry, I've got to stop being Cilla Black for a minute, but you two can meet in the lobby. You've got the same sense of humour, and she's, you know... What's that? She is easy. When I was younger, I couldn't talk to women because I was hiding in their wardrobes masturbating. Would have totally given it away. You didn't see that coming, did you? Has anyone got any questions or queries about sex or relationships? Anything you need to know?
What's your favourite position?
I like reverse cowgirl, but, you know, I'm old-fashioned that way. What's yours, sir? Various. I think I can...
It's a match, eh? Pick and mix.
Yeah, I imagine, it's either that or that. Yeah. I was parked earlier on a single yellow line and I was worried about the traffic warden coming when I wasn't there, so I left a little note on the windscreen for the traffic warden. Do you do that? I always leave a note saying, "Oi, traffic warden cunt, I fucked your mum." Apparently, the rear passenger side of the car is the safest place to be in an accident. Yeah. Although I think if you're back there, it might explain why you crashed. If it's an offence to impersonate a policeman, why have we got community support officers? My girlfriend's got one of those tiny little strips of hair. What are they called? Moustache. Landing strip? She's only 12. I'm joking. She's got a landing strip. She's a very hairy little girl. I've slightly upset myself with that. She's a vegetarian. Any other vegetarians in? A few vegetarians around? Caroline's vegetarian. She thinks it's disgusting that I eat veal, but she eats baby carrots. They're babies. Of course, some women can eat whatever they want, they don't put on any weight, and they're called bitches. Not that I don't mind the fuller figure, I quite like the larger lady. I went out with a girl once who was quite a lot larger. Yeah. When she sat around the house, she sat around the house. If you had a pillow fight, you had to use a duvet. I undressed her with my eyes. It took me 45 minutes. I tried to spoon with her. It's more like a ladle. I've got a photo of her somewhere, taken by Google Earth. I read that drinking your own urine is meant to be good for you. Bullshit. I put my back out. Just a little tip for you, if you ever find yourself in front of 500 people you don't know that well, miming drinking piss out your own cock, make it a double-hander. What do you do? I didn't ask. What do you do?
I have a diving school in Indonesia.
You have a diving school in Indonesia? Wow. I mean, I've heard some tall stories that paedophiles tell. You're a sexual tourist. You disgust me. What kind of diving? That sounds fucking great. Cool. Well done, you. I was going to go diving in Indonesia last year, but I read this thing online that said you can get a thing where a fucking growth on your face. Tiny little things irritate me in life. I don't know if you get this, but really quite trivial things annoy me. You know when you go into a fish and chip shop, let's say on a Friday, right? And the guy in an all too chirpy voice, it's the chirpiness that gets me, goes, as you walk in, he goes, "Chips will be 5 minutes." What? What do you mean the chips are going to be 5 minutes? Did you not think I was going to order chips? It's a chip shop. The clue's very much in the name. This is the one scenario you really should have been prepared for. It's like when you go into a Greggs or any high street bakery. Go into any high street bakery at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they will say, in the same voice, wherever you go in the country, they'll go, "We've run out of rolls." And then they'll explain it. They'll go, "Loads of people came in at lunch and had rolls. Now we've run out." Like there was nothing they could do. I sometimes get it in Starbucks. Do you go into Starbucks? I love Starbucks. I love the posh coffee. You walk in there, though, at the end of the day, and they'll go, "We've turned the coffee machine off." Well, turn it back on, fuck knuckle. I didn't come in for a chat. I want a fucking coffee. I sometimes get it in department stores at the end of the day. You know, if you're in a big department store at the end of the day, you'll get from behind the counter quite a snooty voice. "Excuse me, we're closed." You find yourself thinking, well, how did I get in here? Am I a burglar? I don't want to be a burglar. Do you go into McDonald's? You might go in there later on. You might need a poo. Have you noticed how underneath McDonald's it still says restaurant? Who's that for? Who doesn't know what McDonald's do? And also, restaurant. Is it a restaurant? Really? You guys are a couple, right? How long have you been together? A year and a bit. Okay, so long-term relationship, year and a bit, you've been together. How annoyed would you be, madam, on a scale between 1 and fucking very, if next Valentine's he said to you, yeah, I booked a restaurant, yeah. Yeah, I spoke to the maitre d'. Yeah. Ronald, I think his name was. He was either the maitre d' or a 5-star general, because he had the whole bit, aren't he? I've organised a table for 2 and he recommends the filet-o-fish. You'd fucking kill him, wouldn't you? And who doesn't know what McDonald's do at this stage? You'd have to have been living underground for 25 fucking years. Was ist das? Hamburger. Schnitzel. Schnitzel for the fritzer.